Every single month I try and share the details as part of a series of what this channel is earning from going monetized in February of this year after launching the channel in January. To go monetized, you need to hit two metrics. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month rolling period. Once you surpass those metrics, you can apply to Google to activate AdSense. And on activating AdSense, you can then place adverts at the front, the end, and in the middle of your video if it's over 8 minutes long. Those are called mid-rolls. That can be done automatically on your video when you're posting. So I've covered this in many other videos. I'll give you a playlist at the end of this to show you past months, but let's dive into the details for the month of September. That's the information that you really want to see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screens that I've got here on my phone right here for you to see all of the details. This is like warts and all. And to give you some kind of idea, I've been asked a couple of times, like, what's the difference between a small YouTuber's earnings and the big guys? I'm going to paste the link down below to a video by a creator called Moist Critical or Penguin Zero, one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. He came from the Twitch platform where he was a gamer, and he's just disclosed his earnings, and it is incredible. I'm going to tell you what the number is right now just to give you an idea. Since his time on YouTube, he has earned $35 million just in AdSense. That is, but me here, I'm on 13,000 subscribers. I'm going to walk you through which videos brought new subscribers in, what each video earned here on the platform, and just show you all. So first and foremost, how many views did the channel achieve in the month of September? Well, the answer to that was 211,680 views in total. So that was a very solid month. September was the month that Yvonne and I moved out of our house in the UK, left our home in Northampton and relocated back to Glasgow for a short couple of week period before we eventually left the UK to start this adventure of travelling, and hopefully with the plan of not going back home, certainly not anytime soon. So there was a lot of interest in the channel, which generated a higher viewership than probably normal, because that's what essentially people had been waiting for. They had been following this channel to kind of see, are you actually going to do this? Or are you just full of BS? All the kind of things that people speculated since I started posting videos here. So 211,000 views. To give you an idea, the previous month of August was 118,000 views, so almost 100,000 views up. So again, you know, YouTube is a roller coaster. It's never consistently just generating the same views on videos. Sometimes you hit a real knock it out of the park with the right content, the right wrapper, the right thumbnail, the right title, all of that just works, and sometimes it doesn't. So for me, it's about consistently just posting videos as regularly as possible, and I try and do that almost daily, but with a few days off for a bit of rest for my brain. So 211 views. Where did those views come from? Well, on this screen here, you can see that the biggest performing video that month was my disclosure of how I'd gone from a six-figure salary to redundancy, and what that kind of effectively meant for me. Somebody who had worked in sales for 31 years, suddenly finding myself with no job at the beginning of the year. So I walked people through my career path. If you're interested in this, I'll put a link up here to it. You can go check it out. And my kind of lowest performing video that month was the hardest part of leaving the UK, which brought in 5,000 viewers. Thank you to everybody who's watched these. Like, I share a lot. Sometimes I reflect back on that and I'm like, have I said too much? Did I tell people too many things? But I don't really know any other way to tell you than just the truth of like what goes on in our lives and what it's been like to go from, you know, watching my dad pass away and then losing the job, and now finding myself here in Kuala Lumpur with my wife, starting a new life, and then what comes next, what's next in the journey. So 52,000 views down to about 5,000 views. That's the kind of spectrum that we're talking about just in a 1 month period. Let's also have a look watch time. So as I mentioned, you need 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month period to go monetized. Once you've achieved that, there's no then metrics to kick you out. But if you do not post any videos, YouTube can remove your monetization agreement. So you have to be at least sharing something. So, you know, if you're starting a channel, get the momentum going and then stick to it. Find your rhythm of posting videos. But for me, that meant 20,679 hours. So 4,000 is the threshold to become monetized, and you can see there just in 1 month I've done 20,000 hours of views. And you can see that same video, the 6 figures to redundancy, was 5.8k. So that one video would have been enough to take you through monetization. And I know, like, oh yeah, that's easy, John, just one video hits it. I don't think about it as one video. I don't chase virality. I talk about things that I care about, that I can share with you with some passion, and as they find momentum. I can tell you, if you go back and look at some of my earlier videos, some of them were doing a few hundred views, some of them were doing thousands. It was about finding my rhythm, and you can do the same if you're thinking about starting here. So you can see here on this next screen, some of those videos were 516 hours, some of them were over 5,000. Again, that's just 1 month. That's why I post regularly, to just keep that momentum going. Not everyone will be a straight, you know, hole-in-one, out the park shot, but I just post and then move on to the next topic. All right, subscribers. Again, you need 1,000 subscribers to hit monetization, those 2 metrics. Again, that will seem like a lot to get going. Yes, I had to start somewhere. I have another channel that I've had for 15, 16 years that had something like 500 subscribers on it. I made 3 videos with what I've learned on this channel and surpassed the 1,000 subscribers, and also hit the watch time from just those 3 videos. So I just want to demonstrate there, it's not luck, it's about effort and the commitment that you put in. And all of that will then work in your favour when you're just regularly posting. I know it will seem tough to be like, oh, I've posted a video and it's got 20 views. Yes, but post another one and post another one and keep going and learn and develop. As I shared a couple of days ago in a video about club damage, when I made a live stream in my kitchen over the lockdown period, started with 5 or 6 viewers, and by the end we were bringing in hundreds every single week, and the page had several thousand followers on it. You're not going to just hit the ground running and win the race with the first video. You need to post the second and third one. So for me, September, 2,384 subscribers. So it's fair to say that month of leaving the UK and discussing my career, the topics there resonated with a lot of people, and that brought in new viewers and people willing to commit. So thank you to everybody that's hit the subscribe button and is continuing to watch these. I really appreciate it. I can't say that enough across these videos. I really appreciate you. And you can see here that redundancy video was nearly 1,000 subscribers just on that one topic. The title, the concept of it, and the content of it resonated. And then some of the others where I brought in, I waved goodbye to my house and moved to Glasgow, brought in 34 people. So that shows you the spectrum, right? They're not all, oh, you gained 1,000 people. No, some videos I lose people. I talk about things and it goes negative. I see the chart and I'm like, oh well, people didn't like that, and off they go. And that's okay. You don't want people hanging around and not watching. That's pointless. Those are just stats for the sake of it. That's just an ego tickler. It means nothing. Get people that want to engage with you, engage with your community, talk to people in the comments section. Let's move on. How did viewers find you? I've included this just to kind of let you see some of the information that I also see on the channel. So browse features. People often say to me, oh, I don't see your videos pop up. There's a really interesting way that some people view YouTube and others go in and search, right? When you go to the home screen of YouTube, it gives you the recommendations page, right? And in that recommendations page is just anything that the algorithm thinks to hit you with. That's not how I view YouTube. I go onto YouTube and I scroll down on the left hand side to subscriptions. Those are the people that I've actually wanted to follow, and then what I see in there is a list of all of the names of people that I followed in the latest videos, and that's how I find content. I don't trust the algorithm to just serve things up to me. I go in and specifically look for videos of the people that I'm following, because they're the people that I care about. They're the ones that I'm interested in seeing more content from. So, you know, if you go on and you're just on the front page and you're expecting videos to pop up there from your favorite creators, they won't. YouTube is testing you with new content. However, if you go in and you scroll down the left hand side where you would find your subscriptions, that's where you'll see videos from people that you actually are interested in. So a couple of different ways, but you can see here, browse features 78%, suggested videos, that's what I'm talking about on that recommendation page, 7.8%. You see the difference? 8% of people found me through that function. That's a massive difference in just being able to find my content regularly. And then again, you can see end screens, for example, which is where I put a little icon to suggest another video, 0.4%. Playlists, which I curate and share to try and bring videos together, and you can see there, 0.5%. All right, next screen you can see here, when the viewers watch. Again, it's important to understand when your viewers are paying attention to your video. Is that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night? And on this screen you can see a window. So I'm international right now, 7-hour time difference to the UK, but I try and post my videos to line up with my audience, you, who are mainly in the UK, but I'm now attracting new people in Malaysia and around Australia, for example. And so I'm trying to make sure that I hit the right window for the greatest opportunity for views. And again, device matters. I create these knowing that you're probably mainly watching on your TV. 44% of you are watching this on your TV. That's how I do it. I'm watching it in my room with Yvonne. We're watching our favourite channels. I'm not on my phone to do it, very rarely. But you can see here that again matters. So how you present your video matters. All right, so let's talk about the important bit. 12 minutes in, the money. How much did I make? Well, I want to just quickly reflect on last month, which would be August, to give you an idea of how the channel is moving around. I made £381 in the month of August. And the question now is, what did I make in September? Well, here it is. I made £1,057, the highest the channel has ever made. So the content that I put out in that month, talking about my redundancy, talking about my salary, talking about tax, all really resonated, and that resulted in the highest performing month to date. Now, I'm just going to caveat this and say this now. I'm already tracking the next month's performance, which is October, and like everything on YouTube, there are wild swings. So please don't watch this and think, oh, that's it, the rocket's heading off and it's just money, money, money. It isn't. It really isn't. It's up and down. September was a good month because I talked about really interesting topics. And now that I've moved out here to Malaysia and we're traveling around, some of those topics have landed differently. So I'll cover that again in the next month and show you the breakdown. But thank you to everybody who helped me earn that money. I really appreciate it. And you can see there, the number one video, of course, was that 6-figure job, 6 figures to redundancy, £216. And I'm going to show you in a second how that actually accumulates up, where that money comes from. But you can see, again, lower performing videos, £28, £30. For me, that's okay. I love doing this. This is, of all the jobs, 6 figures and everything else, this is the most rewarding I've ever felt. This is the most rewarding. Just earning money for myself, my wife, and enjoying what I do and talking to you all. Like, that's why I started it. Not to make crazy money, just to live and to share. Right, so let's talk about that video, the 6 figures. It did 64,000 views in that particular month. That resulted in £257. And then where did that come from? Well, advertisers for that particular topic, which changes depending on what you're talking about. Gamers, for example, when they post videos, make a couple of dollars. I, however, am making more like $15, $16 and result £12. £12 per 1,000 views is what that video brought in. I don't see all of that money. YouTube takes 45% of it, which ends up being £4 per 1,000 views to me. Wild, right? You're earning £12 from advertisers. YouTube takes all of its cut, removes any people that use ad blockers, people that skip through adverts, etc. And then in the end, my total is £4. And remember, if you're in the UK and you're posting these, you're still paying tax on top of that earnings as well, right? So keep that in mind. And you can see here, skippable ads, for example, was 49%. So people that watched those adverts, 49% of them were helping to generate that income. Non-skippable ads, 27%. Bumper ads, and you can see the totals here, right? So that's where the money came from. So from £12 down to £4 for me, and that's where that money came from. And now here's a lower performing video, nearly 5,500 views, brought in 22 subscribers, and the earnings from that was £27.65. Where did that come from? Well, £11.64 per 1,000 views, and I made £5.22 on that. So more people watched that video, including the ads, than did on the previous video, which just goes to show you the differences in the swings that can happen just on one or two particular topics. All right, I think that pretty much covers it, right? That's long enough for me bleating on about all of this. In the next video that I post, I'm going to tell you exactly how much all of this has cost. The accommodation we're staying in, how much it cost to get here, and what I've spent as a cost of living for the first month here in Kuala Lumpur. So if you're interested in that, that's what's coming next. If you're new here and you're just joining and this is the first time you've found this, do me a favour, hit the subscribe. I don't ask for it very often, but hit the subscribe and I'll post a playlist just here to let you see this series of what I've earned so far, from the first check, which I think was about £120, to this month where I've earned my first four-figure sum. All right, now lastly, let me just say, I want to thank David Roddy, who's become my latest member here on the channel. Hit the join button if you want to do that. You become a sponsor of this page, which is me just giving you a little bit of thanks in return to say, cheers, I really appreciate it. And now lastly, just a little extra part on all of this. I want to share all of that £1,000 didn't come from AdSense, came from a mixture of AdSense and also super thanks, people who send a little extra donation. So to give you an idea, £980 estimated came from ad revenue, and then from shorts that I posted, I made 27 pence. And then of course from the donations, from people that sent donations, I made £42. Thank you so much to everybody who sent a little bit of a donation to me, that just thought above and beyond the adverts and everything else. That is it. That is it. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching all of this, and we'll see you in the next one. Remember, next video, full breakdown of the living costs here in Malaysia. Having left the UK behind, look at the weather. Wait to show you this, look. Wait to show you where I am. Check this out, right? I'm sitting in a little, let me spin this round. I'm sitting in a little outdoor gym area, which has got a little bike here that you can ride on, a little cross trainer, and look at that view, folks. Look at that view. This is just a little view of the city to let you see. I'll spin you around. I'm in a little garden seating area in this apartment block where you can just come in, do some exercise and enjoy a little bit of outdoor living. Let me just spin that round. My camera work's a bit shoddy today, folks. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that beautiful? Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and supporting me. You have helped to change my life.